What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Book Binge, where in this video we are doing yet another book haul. Although I suppose I should forewarn you at the very beginning of this video that this is going to be the last monthly book haul on the channel, at least for the foreseeable future. I will be switching these to instead be quarterly for a couple of reasons. Firstly, I am graduating soon, and I don't want to have a sort of pseudo obligation to be buying enough books to do a book haul every single month, no matter how big or small they are at this point, especially since I'm, going to have to be spending a lot more just to live. And secondly, I haven't been buying a ton of books recently anyway. I've commented in the last couple of book hauls that they were not that large, and indeed they weren't. This one isn't horribly large either, and as such, I just decided that it wasn't worth doing one of these every single month if they were just going to be like really small and, here's a couple of things and then we're done. Instead, I'm going to do quarterly so that the book haul videos can be maybe a tiny bit bigger again, but also so that, it gives me a little bit more time and space and wiggle room for budgetary and space reasons, stuff like that. Plus, it gives me an opportunity to have even more Thursday book binge episodes as well, since one of my Thursday videos each and every month won't be taken up by a book haul. But with that being said, let's jump right into the book haul, starting off with the one thing that showed in the thumbnail of the video quite visibly, that being Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. I mentioned in my book haul a couple months ago that I got the ebook for it since I backed the Kickstarter. I now finally have the physical edition now that the delays are more or less up and Dragonsteel has managed to catch up with a lot of those deliveries. This edition is quite beautiful. It's not quite the same level as, say, all of the leather-bound books that they've done, but to be fair, these are just premium hardcovers, and they are certainly premium hardcovers as opposed to, say, leather-bounds, which are ultra special editions, and comparatively speaking, the leather-bounds are more expensive, each one being, $100 or $200 for the Way of Kings, since it is two bindings and, all of that whatnot. As a premium hardcover, absolutely beautiful book with a few of those full color insets, including just a couple more basic illustrations that aren't quite the insets the same way that, say, where's the good one at? The way that, say, this artwork is. I'm going to try to get you to see that a little bit. Absolutely gorgeous edition. I'm very happy with the quality of it. Feels super nice. Looks super nice. I can't wait to be getting the next 3 secret projects over the rest of the year, hopefully without as many delays, but we'll kind of see what happens on that front. Alongside, I will also, show off a little bit of something special alongside Tress with the other stuff that it came with, one of those being a little sticker that came, with the same art design as part of the cover of the book. And then there is an epic bookmark, as they labeled it, which is, sort of the imagery that they included for the entire Kickstarter as a whole, and it looks fantastic. It's really cool. I don't know if I'm ever going to use anything like that as an actual bookmark because it's too unwieldy and honestly doesn't make much sense to me, but it came with that anyway. There was also a pin that came with it that I actually didn't realize was going to be coming, and I haven't opened it until just this moment. That is a pin of Vin, it looks like, who I believe is the main character of Mistborn. I haven't read any of them, so forgive me if that's incorrect. I'm pretty sure that's correct, but that is there. Let's see if I can get the pin out of this real quick and actually show you the pin itself on its own. There you go. Looks fantastic. It's actually surprisingly high quality for just a simple pin, all things considered, but it looks super nice. It's great. And then the one last other special item was a really thick, sturdy bookmark. Like, it's really, I've never had a bookmark that was this I don't even know the word. Like, it's really thick. It's kind of hard to bend. It's super duper high quality, and it's got artwork of one of the inserts of the book in it. Sorry if I'm not talking directly into the mic and it's quiet, I apologize. And then, like, it's super high quality bookmark. If every one of the books has a bookmark like this, they're definitely going to be the bookmarks that I use when I eventually at some point read the respective secret project, because wow, high quality bookmark, super high praise I'm going to give to that. Then to the next actual item of the haul itself, we have Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. I now have the full set of the Cowboy Quartet, as some of my friends are wont to call it, the Lonesome Dove Saga. It is the fourth and final one that I have yet to collect. So now I have it, and like I said, I now have the full set, even though one of the entries is unmatched. Unfortunately, I'm not too worried about it, all things considered, since two of those items in the series were gifts from friends. I appreciate that, so I'm not going to complain too much. It is just unfortunate that Simon & Schuster paperbacks that did both editions had both editions, and they're labeled in the ways that they were on Amazon, so that I didn't actually realize that one of them was going to be different, and it shouldn't have been based off of the cover image. Doesn't really matter. The point is, I now have the saga, and I'm going to tentatively hope to get to it next year. I just have so many friends who read it and loved it, and who highly recommend it, like, so much, that I'm like, if at all possible, I would like to get to it next year. No promises, but that would be amazing if I did. Next up, item number 3 in the haul is James Clavell's Gaijin, which is the third book chronologically of the Asian saga. This one for 1862. Right, focus on the book. There we go. Yeah, this is, continuing my collection of the series, and holy cow, this one and Taipan are like really heavy books, because they're both 1,000 pages long, but instead of Shogun, where it's like quite more thick, at least like in the spine and whatnot, these feel a lot heavier than you would think they should be, just because there's such thin paper, thin and dense paper. Like, they're really dense books. It is yet another entry that is as long as Shogun. Shogun was 1,050 pages. I believe Taipan was like 950 pages. This one is 1,130 pages, so yet another long book. If all 6 of these Asian saga books are this big, I'm kind of worried about whenever I eventually plan to maybe read that series, because like, I'm not going to be doing one every month when I read the series. That is absolutely for sure. One every 2 months might be a better goal, kind of similar to what I'm doing with Wheel of Time. Next up, item number 4 is yet another thick book, that being Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell, the iconic classic that became the iconic film. I know, frankly, nothing about the book or the movie. I've not read the book before, as is quite obvious. I've never seen the movie either. No, I don't really have much exposure to the story. I just know it's popular. It was one that I was at one point hoping to consider, or I was considering hoping to join a read-along for it this summer, along with Mike for Mike's Book Reviews and a few of his pals who are going to be reading it. But he unfortunately placed it at the exact same time as Don Quixote for our monthly classics read-along, which is a really strange decision in my opinion, but I'm not going to criticize. I'm not going to get to this book anytime soon as a result of that, but hey, at least I have the book now, and it looks really nice, to be honest. Like, it's beautiful edition. Like, it just looks really great. So there's that. Then finally, last and certainly not least, is The Way of Adan by Philip Chase, our friend and booktuber over at Philip Chase, the Best of Fantasy. I will try to remember to link or at his channel down in the description below if you want to check out some of his stuff. He does a lot of amazing work in the community, although, to be fair, I have not watched a ton of his channel. I have invited him over onto my channel at one point, but he was too busy to be able to make a date for it, because I wanted to be able to talk with him about Dark Tower, since he loved that series so much, and since I love that series so much, I'm going to try to invite him onto the channel again at some point, maybe after I read this book, if not the whole trilogy, because that would be amazing to have him on. I originally wasn't planning to read this soon, but the combination of FOMO from everybody who started reading it immediately, everybody else who's planning to read it very soon, and the release schedule of the book, since they're all going to be released this year, kind of changed my mind. So I actually do plan to read this soon, as you might have seen in the reading wrap-up and TBR video that came out 2 days ago, I believe. If you are interested in that, please go check that out so that you know what is going on with my reading plans this month. I will also note here as well that I think this cover looks a lot better to me IRL than in pictures. Originally, when people would show pictures of the book and like the ebook cover and whatnot, I wasn't a huge fan of the way that the cover looked, like the cover art and whatnot. In person, it's a lot more fitting, like with the texture of the cover and everything like that. It just works really well. Didn't work for me in pictures. So if you're looking at the cover and you're like, well, I'm not the biggest fan of that like I was, if you were to actually purchase the book physically, get a copy of it, it looks a lot better in person, in my opinion. I'm very happy for Philip for getting this published as an aspiring author myself, so I'm excited to give this a shot soon. Oh, and just another final insert here at the very end of the video is kind of a little special thing. Since it's not actually a book, but it's related to books, I will mention thank you to Orion from the Red Company for sending me this shipment of a few Half-Mortal stickers in commemoration of Hadrian, Marlowe, and Sun Eater series, one of my favorite series, which includes my favorite book of all time at this point. Thank you for sending me those, and also a really cool looking sticker here as well. Support your local detrivators, or however you pronounce that. I'm sure I pronounced it wrong, but that is fine. Thank you to Orion for sending me those. Now back to the conclusion. But that is the end of the haul. Like I said, yet another short one. But because of all of that, like I'm just going to reiterate basically what I said at the beginning of the video. This is the last monthly book haul that I'm going to be doing for a little while. I am going to be shifting to quarterly because of the reasons I outlined earlier. But I appreciate any of you guys for watching. I hope you check out that video that came out a couple days ago if you have not already, about my reading schedule for the month, but also stick around through the rest of the month for several great videos and reviews that I'm very excited for you guys to be able to see. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you again in the next episode of The Book Binge.